How are you, Shirley? Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm sorry for the line.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. No worries. You had some troubles with your internet, or what happened?
No, this is different. Usually I get back for my home 4:30, but today I 6. Oh, I arrive 5 minutes, so it's very
That's
fast.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry. It happens to me as well. So, how are you? How was your day today?
That's great. Today we had a new colleague from Peru. She
Uh-huh.
she coming here for 5 months, so I can help her because do you need the document for the system university. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the one reason I hear the like yeah,
Okay, I get it.
yeah I can help my new colleague in that.
Oh, interesting. But is it coincidence that many of your colleagues are from South America, or it is part of the program to bring people from South America to the laboratory?
Yeah, no, this is because the box in the department when I working, that is he has a different project in Bolivia and Peru, but he had implement another project in Colombia, Mexican. So he had interest for the Chagas disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and Bolivia is the #1 in Chagas in the world.
Yes. Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Chagas is that
we are the #1 in Chagas disease. Yeah.
interesting. Very, eccentric way to be the first ones in something, right? But Chagas is this insect, right? Like a mosquito that attacks people, or what are you talking about?
No, that is a vector. That's a
Uh-huh.
similar cucaracha.
Okay. Yes. Uh-huh.
That's a similar. So that's in Bolivia the name is vinchuca,
Yes.
the vector. Yeah,
Yeah, I
vinchuca.
got it. Uh-huh.
Okay, that's vinchuca. You can pick in your body
Mm-hmm.
when you feeling that your rash or you I don't know.
Scratch your
No,
skin.
yeah, your rash in the skin. So you permit or you have access for the parasitic in the vector into
Yes.
introducing your blood.
All right.
So
Get
yeah,
it?
the parasitic is for Trypanosoma cruzi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that is the form can you obtain the DC. Another that
Interesting.
is the transfusion, the blood,
Uh-huh.
or you can obtain for congenital Chagas. So your
Uh-huh.
mother has Chagas, entonces passes the newborn. Yeah, that's another reason. Not every day the
Interesting.
mother, but that's this sometimes
Yes.
the mother transmission for Chagas, a baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get it. And you're working right now on that project to investigate the danger that this, as you say, this vector, you say, right,
Yeah,
brings to humanity. You're investigating that.
yeah. We have a project in Bolivia in maternity hospital. Yeah,
Yes.
we have one project in there. So we had research in congenital Chagas.
Mm-hmm.
So the project is CACTAC or enrollment and mother with Chagas. And when the mother is positive for Chagas disease, we need the blood the baby.
Mm-hmm.
We need to test the baby for the Chagas.
Yes. And is there any cure for this disease, or is something that you cannot heal?
Sorry?
Is there any cure? I mean, any medicine that can help you to eliminate the disease in your body? or it's permanent?
Yes, we have a medicine for that. That is a Bendazole.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
that's word or that is perfect word or when you have Chaga when you are baby.
Okay.
You can
Yes.
eliminate the parasite. But when you are old, that is
Mhm.
more complicated
Yes, I get it.
for the treatment,
Mhm.
tratamiento, treatment. That's
The treatment.
the
Yes.
treatment, yeah. The
Mhm.
treatment usually don't work. So the problem in the people old or the old people, that is where cardiomyopathy or megacolon. So that's different.
So it brings extra diseases, right? When you have this particular one,
Consequence for
yeah,
Chagas.
consequences, exactly. It expands your body when you are an adult, but you can
Yeah,
prevent it or eliminate it when you are a baby. That's what you
yeah.
say, right?
Maybe or
Perfect.
the vector,
Or the
eradicate the
vector.
vector. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. To distinguish the species that brings the disease, right? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
that's it. Yeah, the government tried that because in the different community they spray insecticide. How did you say
Yes.
insecticide? Yeah, I don't know,
I would just
but
say insect poison, but I don't know that.
okay, okay. The government tried that in different
Yes.
communities. Yeah, that's just a little war, but the problem is the people that's in the same condition, so the vector get back again. So probably,
Because they fly, right? I mean, it's difficult to kill something that flies, right? Because it just goes
yeah,
away, right? If it had some legs, maybe we could kill it, but it's difficult when it flies, right? Because it runs away, right?
yeah.
But interesting. You know, it's a very interesting subject of investigation and research. I had never thought about that part. I mean, I know about the disease because my grandma is from, well, one of these communities in the valleys of Bolivia, and of course, many of her relatives had that disease because of that bacteria you mentioned. But nonetheless, I didn't know that it was something that Americans were interested into. I thought, or by the way, is that disease present in the US, or it's just that they are investigating the disease in order to prevent?
Yeah, yeah. We in the U.S. they are the Chagas disease. The fear reason is because for immigrants.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, they are different immigrants for the South America. So the problem that is 0.4%
Uh-huh.
in Chagas disease.
Wow, interesting. But
So
when somebody gets the disease and a mosquito that somehow beats that person goes and beats another one, is that transmissible? Or it's just by that particular insect, the vector, just the vector,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the vector.
That's the vector. Imagine
Or
that you were,
transfusion.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
transfusion, right?
yeah.
Imagine if we were by mosquitoes, right? We will be in a huge trouble, right? Because mosquitoes basically bite
Yeah.
everybody, right? It
This
will
is
be, yeah.
for malaria or Zika, dengue.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, wonderful. But thank you very much for sharing that with me. It's very interesting topic. I always like chemistry when I was in high school. Nonetheless, I just did not decide to pursue that career, but it's interesting what you tell me. It's
Yeah.
quite interesting. All right. So let's continue. Yes. Let's continue then with today's class. By the way, I managed to see on the homework you did yesterday and also the everything everything you did in the platform, including also the quizzes and as well, of course, the
Okay.
what is this? The test, right? The final test of the unit. I managed to see everything. So I don't know why this is not okay. Again. Yes, I guess. All right. So I want to show you what I managed to gather from your performance. Okay, here it is. So look at this. All right, I think that's all. So look at what you got in this unit. You got for your homeworks the following: 87, 91, 94, and 80, 88, which are very good grades. Okay, wonderful, very good. For the quiz as well, very, in this case, I like the fact that you were very stable. You never got less than 80. That's great. 84, 82, 80, and 88. And then for the final test, you got 71, which is of course fine as well. Okay, so as you can see, these are your grades for this unit. And of course, you're in, right? And that is to say, you have passed and you're going to be promoted to the other level, of course. Okay, without problem. All right. So did you have any problem, any special difficulty with this unit? Tell me.
No, the problem is this is a phrase over. So we have
The
a
phrase for us.
different question for that in the test. So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. No, yeah, it's a very difficult topic. And as I say, it's just, well, no, I mean, you are very advanced on it, but the point is that this is something that troubles people whenever they are learning English. It's like when you think that you have learned English, then phrasal verbs come and show you that you have not completely learned. It happened to me that I thought, oh, I learned everything in English, and then I discovered the phrasal verbs, and I realized that I was very far away from learning everything. So yeah, it's a matter that you're going to continue learning about. Don't worry. And today, actually, I have prepared. Well, I have. It's not. Well, I have prepared this. Of course, this is part of our advance, but these are okay. So after every single level, because remind that these 3 units that in the last 3 weeks we have been advancing, and well, not weeks, but in the last 3 units we have been discussing and learning about. They constitute one level, or let's say, yeah, one level. I think is the most accurate description. I think that you started with, let me show you the picture anyways, so that we can have a visual reference. I think that you started with, let me show you. Here you have. So you started with A7, right? That was your first module or your first unit. Now we move on to A8. We move on then to A9. And now we have finished what? A10. No, yeah, no, we have finished A9. So those 3 modules, they represent what? They represent the English level B1, right? That is the level that you started with. Now we're going to move on to the units number 10, number 11, number 12. And now you're going to be advancing things that are part of B2. That is to say, you are getting very near to C1, which is, of course, the objective in order to get 110, right? In the exam, that's according to ETS, when you take the TOEFL exam, people who are C1 and theoretically C2 got 110. So we are in our journey to that objective, and we are going to have to continue, okay? So this is this is our schedule for the following weeks, okay? Here we have everything. So so as I was commenting as well, Shirley, there is something here that I wanted you to see, that at the end of every single level, okay, because remind, this is B1. Let's imagine that this is B1, okay? Let's call it B1. At the end of B1, we have some final tests. These, of course, do not count towards your average, or these are not considered as something that is going to be evaluated, okay? But this is something just as a matter of practice for you to see if you want. And that is what we want, or that is what I wanted us to do today together. That is to say, we are going to get into these exams or tests together, and we're going to try to solve them, okay? So if you can open your computer as well in the platform, we can work together and we can come up with the responses, and you can fill it, so you can also, of course, rewatch it and look at it again if you need some kind of feedback. All right. So please try to get into the platform. If you cannot tell me, it's okay. We are going to work through my computer. But nonetheless, it would be awesome if you could manage to open the platform as well on your computer, and we can work together. And it's going to be way more interactive.
Okay, perfect. I don't see for level 2, sorry, test. I can
Yes.
see
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe it's because I just made it visible. Okay, maybe it's because I have not assigned it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I think I had to assign it. Okay. Yeah. This is not going to have any limits. Whenever. Take this off. Feel like yes. Yes. It just one. Let's go. Now, what about now? Refresh, please, your website and see if you can watch now the level 3 tests. Can you see them now or not?
No.
All right. Choose again. It apparently takes its time.
Yeah, that is a segment.
All right, wonderful. Yes, those are the assignments. All right, so I want to also, what is this? I'm gonna open a Google document so that if there is something that we want to emphasize today, we're going to write it here. Blanco, okay. So I wanted to add some vocabulary before we start with the tests. All right, now I'm gonna take this out. Wonderful. So some vocabulary. Let's go with some vocabulary for you to see and review later. Yeah, why not with boats and this? Okay, so the idea. First word for today, it's going to be it's a word that you have been using very much. Oh, I don't know what happened here. This is this and this. What about this word here? Parasite. What about this word? Parasite. Of course, parásito, right?
Yeah.
The pronunciation, look at this. As if you were saying parasite. Parasite, like this. Parasite, all right? What else? Other word, assignments. Assignments. This means basically, it is tarea, but nonetheless, it's a little bit more eccentric. Asignaturas. Asignaturas. How's it pronounced? It is pronounced this way. Assignments. Without the G. Assignments. Choose assignments. All right? Can you see it?
Assignment.
Yes. I don't know what here. Yeah. Assignments, it's assignments. Yes, very good. And here parasites with this pronunciation, para, as if you were saying para. Imagine that you're saying para mañana, parasite. All right?
Parasite.
Yes, very good. Now, what other word? Well, let's just leave it there for a while. And now let's come back to this. Okay, so the first thing or the first section I want us to look at today, it's grammar. So please touch the button that says grammar and let's work on it because very much likely we're going to find phrasal verbs and that is exactly what I want. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Super short.
Okay. Let me choose.
Yes.
Grammar.
Okay, so by the way, this is going to be a test, or these are going to be tests about the entire section. That is to say, we are going to be looking at everything we have discussed until this point. The first things that we saw with Talia and Ami, and all the other topics that we discussed through those examples and illustrations. So tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, wonderful. Let's go. So it says grammar. Amy and Talia are getting ready for a party. Very good for them. Complete the dialogue. Click on the box and choose the correct answer. Amy, Talia, Harry. And here we have an option. Which one would you like to choose here?
Legs.
All right. Also selected in your own platform so that for you it's also saved, okay? And you can send it if you want. So it says now we need to leave for the party. It started, and here we have some options. Remind, this is the topic that we saw. M, A, or two.
A.
All right. Now we're. So, okay, I'm almost ready. Should we take my car or? Remind, this is a topic, the possessions, possessive modals.
Yours. Yours.
All right, or yours. Very good. Let's take mine, she says. But we get gas on the way.
Me.
But we need get. Okay. So here there is something lacking actually. It will be we need to get gas on the way. We need to. Here they have not included. No, again, sometimes the platform has some mistakes. As you pointed out to me, I think last week, that you knew that one part of your exam was true, and nonetheless the software basically will show your response as incorrect. Nonetheless, you knew that it was correct, right? Happens sometimes. Apparently, they have not designed it completely good or at least perfect. So now it says it's my turn to pay for gas. And here, this is a topic that we also saw. That is to say, shouldn't I? Isn't it? Don't I? Which one is the correct one here?
Isn't it?
Right? It's my turn to pay for gas, isn't it? Right? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see the answers. Okay. Let's, very good. It started M. Okay, here, I think here's, we have the only mistake. And also here, but I'm going to explain that this is an error, but the other ones are very good. Here, you know why it started an hour ago? It's because remind that in English, the reason, if we saw this, is that you use M in order to separate, of course, both vowels, right? For example, A, imagine that it would, imagine that this word, the word, I don't know, it started, I don't know, well, it started a century ago. We wouldn't need to include the word M, that is to say M. Why? Because of course we have seen that we use the letter M in order to unite these prepositions with the words whenever there is a vowel, right? For example, A with E, A with I, A with U, A with O. All of them are not words that you're going to necessarily be using this M, but you can, or you're going to require it if you have those vowels, okay? Let me explain it here. It's clear. A bit more concisely. So what is the idea here? It's when do we use M? And let me write it. We use it whenever we have an object model and we want to use it. We use it whenever we have an object model and we want to use it for words that start with vowels. Okay, like this. For example, I have seen an enormous tree. Look at this, Shirley. You remind, right? The reason, or whenever we use this,
Okay.
yes. And vocal. But there is not vocal, it's vowel. Remind that the word for vowel or for vocal, it's vowel, like this. Vowel, okay? I'm gonna write it here. It's vowel. Like this, vowel. Equal to what? Vowel, vocal. The pronunciation, it's like this. Vowel.
Vowel.
Exactly, very good. Vowel. So now I want to correct something here. We use it whenever we have an object model and we want to use it for or we want to connect it. It's going to sound better, I think. And we want to connect it with words that start with vowels. But it's not that it start with vowels. That has a beginning that sounds, this is the key point, that sounds like a vowel.
Mm.
For example, we use it whenever we have an object model and we want to connect it with words that has a beginning that sounds like vowels. And the one here in our test is an example of those words. For example, let's say it started an hour ago. Let me show you. It started an hour ago. For example, yes, you're right. In this case, H is not a vowel. True, it's not a vowel. Nonetheless, it started an A. Can you listen to that? Ah, it's of course a vowel, right? An hour ago, right? A, E, I, O, and U, right? It sounds like an ah, right? Hour. So that's the reason why you're going to use what? The M. Whenever it has, yes. You were to ask something?
No, this is okay. I say so.
Yeah, wonderful. So that's the idea. It started an hour ago, right? It sounds like a vowel. So whenever it sounds like a vowel at the beginning of the word, okay, you're going to use this one, okay? An hour ago. Let's say there's one example, there's one more. There is there's all right, I don't remind, I'm sorry, but the point, okay, that is the idea that you use it in this case, all right? And for the other ones, of course, when you have consonants, for example, any other word like there is a computer, okay, there is a computer. Of course, you are not going to use M because you have what? A consonant here, right? Not a vowel. So this is the reason why you don't use it, right? Is that clear, Shirley?
Yeah, that's clear.
Wonderful, okay? Because computer, is not a vowel, right? It's an oral sound or a guttural sound that we make with our throat. Computer is not a o u, right? One of the basics of language. So let's continue. But that was the only one that was wrong, and this other one, it's a mistake of the platform, because if this were to be correct, it would be, but we better had guessed, or excuse me, had gotten gas on the way. But here they have just written it wrongly. So it's not, I think, worth the try to see what it is. All right, let's continue. Doesn't matter. Okay, switching to student view. Wonderful. I press next, and we have this one. Okay, so please try to always, excuse me, as well, press next, and we're going to move on to this one. It says complete the dialogue, drag and drop the answers into the correct lanes. You will not use all of the words, okay? For example, Shirley, for the first one, Talia's, and you have to insert one of these boxes here within the larger box. Which one would be?
Working.
Yes, very good. Talia is working, because it means Talia is working, right? That is the apostrophe's purpose in this case. Talia is working so hard this day, right? That's, and here what would be? Remember, this is a conversation, so that in order to know what response to include, you can also look at the context. Remind that the first thing Amy is saying is Talia's working so hard this day. Now, the second sentence is going to continue that one. Okay, it's a dialogue. So try to look at that sentence in order to have a hint of what the other word is going to be.
This is good.
Okay. Yes, that's good. She wants to be a journalist, and journalists must be hardworking. But she, which one in this case?
She works all the time.
Wonderful. Yeah, she works all the time. Finally, then I know she. This is a perfect, excuse me, this is a future tense for the sentence. Then I know she.
She will be.
Exactly. Wonderful. Let's continue. Are you going to play in a soccer match tomorrow with your sprained ankle? I hope so. Yesterday,
Wait, they need his, okay. Are you going to? Hack practice.
All right, I have practiced. Okay, what about that word? For example, practiced. Okay, now I think time has come for me to teach you something that a long time ago I wanted to teach you. Okay, how can you differentiate or know when, for example, when you have a word that is expressing something past, you know if it should be pronounced practiced or practiced? How do you know when to use it and just to add the D in the pronunciation, like practiced? Or it could alternatively be, as you know, practice it. But how do you know what type of pronunciation you're going to give to the word? Here is the hint, and you're going to get surprised, I think, of how simple it is. The key thing to know when you're going to pronounce practice it or practiced, or for example, let's say, which one could it be? Let's say this one, developed. How do you know if it is developed or developed? How do you know that? Or how do you know, for example, if it is, I don't know, what could it be? Developed, if you have any question, or if you, excuse me, you have any recommendation, tell me. For example, this one, plate. Practice, developed, or plate. How do you know if you are going to pronounce plate or play it? How do you know that? Well, there is a way. Let me show you. I'm going to write it here with a different color so that you know this is a very interesting technique. Whenever you are able to pronounce the converted password with A and with E and D, you should use it there. I'm going to give you an example, don't worry. Examples, yes, examples. Let's say, for instance, if I say, I have worked too much. How is this the correct pronunciation for this one, Shirley? Is worked, right? No, work it. But how do I know? How do I know? I know that the pronunciation is going to be that way, and I'll work it Because if I look at the sentence, I realize that that if I say, for example, worked, and just add the D sounds at the end of my word, then it's going to be, as I say, and as I have put here in this rule, then it's going to be possible to pronounce it that way. I have work. Work is the present, right? Work is the present. And if you know, okay, you have to do this mentally. If you know that worked, that is to say, the past form of this subject can be used with ed, can be used with this with ed, and you can pronounce it naturally, wonderful. Work. I have too much to work. Let's just work. Oh no, this week. Sorry. So, for example, here with green and here with green. Okay, Shirley, give me please 2 verbs in English. Anyone.
Dance.
Right, dance. Very good one. Yes. Dance and what else you said?
Call.
Call. Where's call?
Car. De llamar.
Oh, call. Okay. Wonderful. So 2 verbs. So how do you know, for example, and I'm going to add one more here.
Receipts.
I'm writing down this. Give me a second. I'm going to explain why. Now, how do you know if this one is going to be pronounced? Because we have 2 options, right? It could be pronounced. By the way, all of these verbs must be in past. So danced and cold. So how do we know if this one is going to be pronounced danced or danced? How do we know that? Simple. We have 2 possibilities, right? To say dance, like this, more or less, danced, and danced and danced. Those are our 2 possibilities, right, Shirley? Danced or danced. But now, how do we know if for this one it is danced or danced? Here's the only point. If you manage to pronounce dance, okay, in a past form, without feeling it weird, without feeling the word weird, you can use it. Okay, for example, danced. The word here is dance, right? Like this. The normal word is like this, dance. Now, can we add here, I ask you, a D at the end of the word and to make it sound at the same time that our verb here and still mean the same? Can it or not?
Dance. What?
Dance, yes.
Yeah. I don't answer your question. What?
Oh, my question is, can we pronounce dance with this D here? Dance with the past form. Can we add this D here along the word in order to make it sound natural? I'm going to repeat it in Spanish, don't worry. Podemos nosotros pronunciar esta palabra aquí, dance, junto con la letra D, sin perder la naturalidad de la palabra, por ejemplo, danced. As you can see, puedo aumentar, ¿no? Danced, una pequeña D, una pequeñísima D, danced. Es posible para esto, es posible. Ahora te voy a mostrar una que no es posible. Look at this one. Read that word for me, please. Read it. This one. How do you read this word?
Receive.
Resist, right? Resist. Now, try to pronounce this word adding a D. Just a D sound. Can you do it? Resist. it would sound like that, resists, right? Because the word already ends in something that sounds like a D. Resist is a normal word. And if I add the D, resists, resist, that would sound. Do you understand what I say?
Yeah, the double sound. Yeah.
It would sound like resist, right? Repeating the D, making it worse, right? Can you feel it, right? Resist. It sounds weird, right? That is not English. So whenever you cannot insert this D, as I wrote here, whenever you're able to pronounce the converted past word with E end, with ES here, with E or ED, you should use it there. For example, this one, we saw the example, dance is a normal word. And if we want to say the past way or the past form of this word, danced, we can easily, naturally, what? Include the D, right? Danced. The same for this one, cold. Can we include the D? Cold, coat. Yes, we can, coat. It's easy. What about this one? Can we do it for resist? We have seen that we cannot, right? Resist. So it would have to be resisted. But of course, that is not English. And finally, this one is another example of one word that you cannot use with D at the end. For example, how do you read the normal word that would be abbreviate? How do you read it, Shirley?
The final song.
Yes, the final word.
I say abbreviate.
Yeah. Okay, it's near abbreviate. But the point is, can we add a D sound at the end? Abbreviate. It would be like that, right? Abbreviated. Why? Because the word already ends in abbreviate. It already ends in D, right? The word here, abbreviate. So if you want to add a past form to this word, of course, we're going to add the E and D. But how is it going to sound? How is this going to be pronounced? It cannot be pronounced abbreviated because it's weird. That is not English, right? It's super obvious. How are we going to pronounce it for this case? Abbreviated. As you can see, we're using the other sound. The same for this one. Resist. We cannot pronounce it resisted. So what are we going to do? Resisted. We're going to read it like that. Can you understand?
Yeah, but when did you know that the difference when you pronounce the final word?
Uno se da cuenta, como menciono, por pensarla en su cabeza. Es decir, por ejemplo, si yo quiero decir, ¿no? No he resistido. Pienso en la oración primero. I have resist. And I know that the way to write down that is resist, E-N-D. Sé que la forma de escribir resistir en pasado es resist y ed, ¿no? O ed. Esa es la forma de acá, ¿no? La forma de escribir resistí. So, si yo sé que esta es la forma de escribir resistí, y yo sé que la palabra inicial, resistir, resist, termina ya en t. Si yo le quiero aumentar la D, como dije acá, resist, sería una doble pronunciación de la D, ¿verdad? Y lo que hay que evitar es la doble pronunciación de la D. Lo mismo para esta, por ejemplo. Cold, uno la piensa en su cabeza y se pregunta, ¿será que cold la puedo utilizar con una forma pasada? Y con esta expresión súper sencilla de plate, right? O de danced. ¿Se puede?
Yeah, pero do you pronounce it como the D, finally?
Sí. And
But
you don't understand why, or what is it?
Yeah. I don't understand when you use the D al final or you don't use.
Bueno, se usa cuando hay pasado, ¿no? O sea, es
Claro,
decir, por
claro,
ejemplo,
I know.
ajá,
Pero de
yes.
pronunciation.
O de pronunciation. Claro, es como menciono, es por probar, porque hay dos chances, ¿no? Vamos a ver al principio, a ver. Digamos, para esto de acá, ¿no? Danced. Uno lo puede pronunciar danced o lo puede pronunciar danced, ¿no? Son las dos opciones que hay. O danced o lo pronuncia danced. Entonces, ¿cómo sabemos si pronunciar así danced? Que es la única cosa que se le está aumentando, es una pequeñísima D, danced. Súper, casi imperceptible, pero la idea está ahí. ¿Cómo sé que es esta o cómo sé que esta que es mucho más fácil de reconocer? danced, ¿no? ¿Cómo sé cuál es cuál? Y vuelvo a repetirlo. Es, por ejemplo, si yo, la palabra normal es dance, así, ¿no?
Yeah.
La palabra normal. Si yo sé que a esto le puedo aumentar una D al final, ¿no? Con ese sonidito sencillo. Danced. Entonces la palabra se puede utilizar y se tiene que pronunciar así. Danced. Hay que hacer la prueba, hay que pensar dentro de nosotros. A ver, esta palabra, si la quiero usar en pasado, le queda bien la ds. Ese mismo ejercicio lo hice acá, abajo, con cold. ¿Le quedará bien a cold? Por ejemplo, cold. Si yo digo cold, ¿le quedará bien? ¿Cómo le va a quedar bien esto? ¿Como cold o como cold? Le queda muy bien como cold. ¿Por qué? Porque la palabra no termina en z, ¿no? Se combina, cold. ¿Te das cuenta? En cambio, otras palabras, por ejemplo, ya terminan en D. Y no una D de letra, me refiero, sino que ya terminan en un sonido que suena a D. Por ejemplo, resist. Puse de ejemplo esta palabra, ¿no? Resist, de resistir. Esta palabra resist ya termina en un sonido de D y de T. ¿Sí? ¿No? Sin embargo, ¿qué pasa? De que como ya termina termina con un sonido de T, ya no se puede pues aumentarle un segundo D o T. ¿Por qué? Porque ya sería raro. Resist, ¿no? Y eso no hay en inglés. Entonces, como digo, voy a reescribirlo acá para quizá que así se entienda un poco mejor.
O sea, cuando la palabra termina en un sonido de o similar a de,
Ajá.
entonces tú pronuncias con el final de
Exacto, como appropriated, ¿no? Como el otro que es
property.
más,
Ah, ok. Ah, ok,
que
ok.
es más,
I got it, I got
exactamente.
it. Yeah.
Voy a escribir otra acá. Pero me gusta. I like the way you summarize it. When you have a word that sounds like a T or D, at the end of the um, you must pronounce it. Vamos a hacer aquí dos categorías para que nos demos cuenta. Esta primera de acá, vamos a llamarla esta de acá va a ser dense, así, de esta forma. A ver, es dense, un tema bien interesante, dense, y esta otra sería una forma, ahorita voy a poner nombres, esta sería dense. Ok, vamos a ponerlo así, ok. Cuando se pronuncia con una D súper sencillita va a ser simple, y cuando se pronuncia así bien estrepitoso va a ser el hard, ¿no? El difícil. Entonces, eh, cuando este sonidito así, cuando se puede incluir, ¿no? Como lo hemos mencionado, en una palabra que no termine sonando como T o D, el pasado, la pronunciación de esa palabra va a ser danced, una pequeña D simple. Y ya cuando no se puede incluir, claro, va a ser danced, ¿no? ¿Por qué? Porque para evitar que choquen las D. Aquí la idea, creo que esa es un buen punto igual. The idea, sorry here, the idea is to avoid these and T to be repeated. Ahora sí, Shirley, ¿se nota más simple quizá?
Yeah, that's it.
La idea es esa, ¿no? Que cuando se puede incluir una D, cuando se puede incluir una D al final de nuestra composición, ¿qué pasa? Que puede evitar que se junten dos Ds o dos T, esa es la nuestra, ¿ok? Esa es la pronunciación que tenemos que, en ese caso tenemos que utilizar la pronunciación simple, ¿no? Sit. Y aquí ya va la otra, más compleja, unset, ¿no? Es una hard, más difícil. Y lo sabemos siempre, como digo, si es que la palabra ya termina en D. Por ejemplo, esta de acá, abbreviate, ¿no? Esta termina en T. Por lo tanto, no podría ser abbreviated. Tiene que sí o sí, porque termina en un sonido como de T, aumentarle ID y pronunciarlo como... Uy, se está yendo mi batería. Pronunciarlo como... abbreviated. Ahora sí. ¿Se entiende, Shirley?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll go for my charter, okay? Just give me a second.
Okay.
Quick second. No, I came back. Okay, very rapid, right? So, como decía, la idea está en que cuando se puede pronunciar al final una D sencilla, como danced, ¿no? Súper sencilla, simple, danced. Ahí se utiliza la simple. Y cuando no se puede, digamos, como acá, abbreviate, ¿no? Esta palabra acá. ¿Dónde está? Aquí. Abbreviate, por ejemplo, que ya terminan como con un sonido de T y D, ¿no? Abbreviate. Ya no se podría decir abbreviated. Entonces, ¿qué se hace? Abbreviated, ¿no? Ya se usa la forma hard, que es esta de acá, ¿no? Exactamente, ¿no? Ya se le pone esta de acá. Es bien sencillo en realidad. And this trick, you know, not many people know it, but it's super effective. It has worked for me beautifully throughout my life, and it works very well, okay? It's just, as I say, a matter of thinking in your head. Okay, can I pronounce, before you pronounce it, right? You don't speak. Danced. Can I pronounce it with a simple it? Danced. And when you realize that you can, then you say it, right? And if you know that you cannot, then you say, okay, with the hard way. That is to say, ate it. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Super good strategy. Okay, so that's it. Something else that I wanted to say. Oh yes, an example here. Another one could be, for example, this one. In this case, Shirley, you use this word a lot as well. Complicate, right?
Yeah. Complicated.
No, esto es complicar, right? This is a verb, complicar, complicate. But if you want to say complicado, of course, in a past manner, complicado, you will have to add what? A D, right? And how would you pronounce it, Shirley?
Complicated.
Exactly, yes, complicated. Because the word without the D, it's complicate.
Yeah.
Yes, complicate. And it ends in a T sound, right? Complicate. So you cannot say complicated, right? So you're going to add your D, of course, and you're going to say complicated, right? The hard way. And that is going to work for all the other words you can find, complicated. All right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to send this document to you. And the rest of the grammar, it's super easy. So it's not necessary for you to do this, okay? I know you are working so hard in your research, so please don't do this. As I say, it's not going to be evaluated. It's just an assignment as I say, for practice. If you want, maybe you can do it, of course, but it is already available for you, okay? But it is not going to be evaluated, okay? Don't worry.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. So I'm gonna send you this. You have any other question while we do this?
No, I don't have a question. The question is for the system. I don't have ability for the unit, the next unit for
Yes.
the book, the Pearson English.
Yes. Yeah, you're very right, because I'm still about to receive the code for the new product that I'm going to introduce in the platform. And once I receive it, I'm going to be sending or uploading it to the website. And then you're going to be able to register to a new course, because all the material is going to be in a new course, okay? It's not going to be in the same course. So you're gonna have to stop using that course and you're going to move to another course, okay? So you're gonna, of course, I'm gonna tell you when that is available. I'm gonna try to do it right now. That is to say, at the end of the day, and you're going to be able then tomorrow, okay, to see it. All right.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, so here you have this and this. Wonderful. Okay, not actually. All right, there you have. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Shirley. There you have. So now, please, I'm going to take your assistance, and please you help me with the poll. Okay, let's go. Assistance, and poll. By the way, all the classes are being uploaded to YouTube. Okay, you can rewatch them whenever you want. I am always uploading them to the YouTube channel that you have.
Okay.
You can see them. Actually, not important. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that you're going to be able to see these new units. Okay, it's important. You're right. You need to see it. Okay, it's done. And thank you very much. Okay, Shirley. Well, so I see you tomorrow. Please have a good time there in the US, and I'm going to be working on that request of you to enable the platform for you. That is what you say, habilitar, to enable the platform for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, and see you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Bye.
Wonderful. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.